Hey everyone, it's Rick Becker with End Unfair Property Tax. And I wanted to go over with you today really almost a shocking misunderstanding of the measure to eliminate and replace property tax that our governor of North Dakota, Governor Burgum, has. He made a statement today because he was upset with the legislature for not passing additional income tax relief. And during that, he decided to really poo-poo the idea of this measure. Now, I want to go through it with you because I think that a lot of elected officials have this misunderstanding, despite the fact that I have tried so often to clear this up. I don't know. I know that Doug Burgum is not a fan of eliminating property tax. Never has been. I talked to him about it 2 years ago. So I don't know if he genuinely misunderstands it or if he prefers to have this concept be his understanding and wants to not have a clear understanding, because once he has a clear understanding, his arguments against the property tax measure will go away. So let's bring him up here. I'm gonna hit play and we'll listen.
Well, I think the one thing that was looming is this, there's an attempt to get an initiated measure to eliminate property tax in our state. And that came up from a number of people like, oh, that's creating uncertainty about the future. But I would just say right now that, this has been tried in the past. And if you look at other states that have tried to do this, I can't imagine a bigger disaster for the state of North Dakota than.
First, I want to clarify, I'm not aware of any other states that have tried to do it. Certainly not any that have tried to do it and then there's a disaster. I'm not sure what he's talking about. I truly am not aware. I know other states would like to. Texas is working on it. I believe New Hampshire might be working on it, but no states have enacted the elimination of property tax. So I think he's mistaken.
Somehow been, trying to quote fix property tax by having no fix in the cost of local government, just change who pays the bill. There is no such thing as property tax relief if a local political subdivision, whether it's a city, a park district, a school district, gets to decide how much they spend, but then somebody else picks up the tab.
You see, that is clearly where he's misunderstanding. There, I'm going to repeat it again. So the way the measure works is that whatever revenue a city or county was getting in 2025, the state is going to replace that because the state has an abundance of excess money. They can replace what you and I are paying in property tax in 2025. Okay. The city or county or school district, park district, they don't get to just determine, hey, let's spend this much. And then the legislature, the state, meaning again, you and I are on the hook for it. That's not how this works. If it worked that way, I would agree with Governor Burgum. That would be impossible. You can't just have someone determine that they want to spend whatever they want because they know someone else is picking up the bill. Again, we would be replacing what they get in 2025, and then they still have control, local control, to determine their own budget based on the state replacing everything they were getting in 2025 in the same amount. It's just that the state is paying it, not you and me. And then everything that they need to increase for additional needs, they still are responsible for. They still will go to you to get those monies. They just can't go to you with property tax. They will go to you with sales tax or infrastructure fees or assessments. There are a number of things they can do. So they still go to you. This doesn't solve if you've got local people that are spending too much, but it does force them to have that increased spending, getting that revenue in a way that's easier for you to object, easier for you to understand what's going on, easier for you to give public input, to take it to a vote of the people. All these things are infinitely easier when you do it by these other methods instead of property tax. Okay. Plus, you never are going to be kicked out of your home for not being able to pay property tax. So let's go back to Doug. It's just it's so unfortunate. He's got this misunderstanding.
I mean, think about it. You're going to dinner and people can order whatever they want, but somebody else is going to get stuck with a tab. And right now, people that we're spending $5.5 billion in this biennium supporting expenditures at the local level. We have tried and tried and tried and tried to solve, quote, the property tax issue by sending more state dollars to local political subdivisions. And when you subsidize it, just like the federal government subsidizing higher education or healthcare, the prices go up. When you subsidize local government, you get more local government.
Okay, he's exactly right. And that's exactly what I have been saying. That's exactly what I said to the state legislature in 2013, my first session, almost word for word. The way that the legislature has been trying to do property tax relief is subsidizing the spending of cities and counties. And it hasn't worked. It was not going to work. It will never work. Okay. Again, Governor Burgum is misunderstanding. This is not someone else paying. This is an entirely different method. We are replacing the property tax. We're replacing 100% of it. Okay, so you could say, well, this is a buy down of 100%, and we've tried buy downs. This is a buy down of 100% at the levels of 2024, 2025. And then the property tax system is gone, dismantled. And so they can't continue. They can't backfill. It's not a subsidization because what was being subsidized and didn't work previously is gone. That method is gone.
And so there is this idea that somehow taking 100% of the burden and moving it to the state without any constraint on how local spending is the most, it's full of folly is what it is. I mean, there isn't a world where it works, because why would we even want to have a school board, a local school board, or a local city commission, or a local township board, or a local county commission, or a local park district, if they're going to decide where the money gets spent, but somebody else pays the bill, including people paying income tax, people paying sales tax. I mean, the money would come from somewhere, and it would just be a transfer. It's not actual relief. It just shifts around who picks up the tab. What we talked about today and what got voted down was actual relief. It actually reduced the revenue coming into the state. It helped shrink government, and it helped people shrink. I mean, it helped people keep money in their own pockets. That's what relief is. That's tax relief.
Okay. So we really got to go back to that. Now, if that exactly is what this measure does. This takes, because he's talking about this reduces the amount of money coming into the state, or the money coming into government. Okay. His sales tax would do that. This reduces the amount of money going in overall to all parties by $1 billion a year. What he's concerned about was $46 million over 2 years. So $23 million a year. This is $1 billion a year that you and I keep in our pockets, and then we spend in the economy. That's real relief. It starves the beast of the legislature. They don't have that money to spend, that $1 billion, $2 billion over a biennium. So when they look at what the forecast is for how much money's coming into the state, and it's $20 billion, they know that they only have $18 billion that they can spend however they want, because $1 billion per year is going to replace the property tax at the 2024-2025 levels. And then we retain local control. So when Governor Burgum says, why do we need a park board and a school board and city? Well, because they have control. They're going to determine what their budgets are. They're going to determine what they spend it on. Who else is going to determine that? The way Governor Burgum envisions the measure is 100% wrong. All of these local officials, these boards, these commissions, and so forth, have 100% control to determine what they want to spend money on, what their priorities are, how much they're going to need to raise taxes. It just can't be property tax. So you see where I'm coming with that. He's dead wrong. He's right on a few things, but I think he just doesn't even want to understand that this measure is amazing and would provide the biggest, true, sustainable tax relief ever provided to citizens out of any of the states over the last 100 years. Easy, probably a lot longer. Now, I want to hit one other thing, because people say, well, you're talking about the state's going to replace that $1 billion a year, but where we don't have that, where are we going to get it? The legislature is just going to increase taxes somewhere. Okay, so let me show you something here. I'm going to see the aspect of not having true relief with this property tax is probably the most frustrating thing, because sorry, because this is the biggest thing that you could have ever seen. And so his misunderstanding of it is leading people astray. So again, where does the money come in? Well, listen to Doug Burgum in his own words. When people say we don't have the money, listen to your governor, his very own words right here.
Because our reserves are overflowing. I mean, we had to sit with a record ending balance, nearly $1.5 billion, close to 400 million unobligated in another second checking account called the Strategic Investment Improvement Fund (SIF). And so between the two of those, and then we're over reserved in all of our rainy day funds, and then we're double reserved because we reserve for K-12 both in Foundation Aid Stabilization Fund and in the rainy day fund. And so we've got billions in reserves. We had billions in cash sitting around from ending balances, and this 46 million represents literally it's less than 2 weeks revenue that we're bringing into the state right now, probably closer than 1 week during some weeks, these high thing. There's 104 weeks in a biennium, and with a couple billion in cash laying around, if we can't figure out how to give 1 week's of revenue back to the citizens of North Dakota, again, I guess I would just have to say extreme disappointment on.
Okay, so you heard Governor Burgum in his own words, quote unquote, with a couple $2 billion of cash laying around. Okay, that's on top of the record spending that your legislature has done in 2023. So folks, our elected officials are misunderstanding it. I don't think they want to understand it. I think many of them probably do, but we haven't gotten to them. But even as high up as our own governor, 100% complete lack of understanding of any aspect of the bill. This is the relief that he claims he wants for the citizens. So again, it's up to us to take it. I encourage you to sign the petition wherever it's coming around. Go to endpropertytax.com. You can go to where do I sign? It'll show you some businesses. We desperately need people to get signatures to circulate the petitions, especially in the Fargo, West Fargo area, also the Grand Forks area, pretty much anywhere in the state. We have to get this done. We need to get it to a vote of the people, and it will take you to do this. We cannot do it without you. Go to endpropertytax.com. There's a Q&A section. There's a very helpful infographic. Please go there. Learn what you can. This is the most significant thing that can happen. The most legendary thing. The most legacy thing. We can do this. So please go. Please help. We need you.